Dr. Vin Gupta, legions of white coats who continue to spread misinformation. You know, I suspect from listening to his other comments, which I think I've talked about on this channel, because he said some pretty stupid things about President Biden's mental health. You can go back and watch those videos. That Vin Gupta, he seems to me like an ideologue. He appears on MSNBC, and I might venture a guess that he's a passionate Democrat, okay, from the kinds of things he says. And he's so blinded by his ideology that he thinks anybody who doubts vaccine safety, COVID-19 vaccine safety, must be spreading misinformation. Well, here's the reality. Young men were harmed by mandates for COVID-19 vaccinations. We've proved that in a peer-reviewed paper, that the booster doses for young men had a higher risk of myocarditis than that vaccine could ever have prevented hospitalization from COVID-19. That's a clear harm. The rates of myocarditis from this vaccine in young people were horrific. They were ignored by health authorities. They were dismissed. They were not taken seriously. All vaccine safety signals, in my opinion, were not taken seriously by health authorities. The U.S. delayed for 1 year to space those doses apart like Norway did, which would have reduced myocarditis and preserved efficacy. They did that for no good reason, okay? Vin Gupta says real science published in the world's signature and most prestigious journal. First of all, he doesn't know what Nature Communications is. It's not. No, it's not. It's not the most prestigious medical journal. Probably not even in the top 25. It's the shitty knockoff of Nature. Okay, so that's not what it is. Okay. And it's not really great science either. It lacks falsification testing. It lacks real robust proof that residual confounding is not occurring. It doesn't really, in my mind, solve the time zero problem. I don't know how they're going to try to do that. It's written very poorly. The tables are a mess. The tables are a complete mess, in a number of ways, which I could elaborate on, but I won't because this is a lay audience mostly, and I don't want to get into the technical details about that. But the tables are not clearly presented. And I suspect the peer review process was piss poor. It was done by people who already agreed with the authors about the central conclusion, and so they didn't want to push back. The last thing I'd say is I see that there's a few, like YouTube accounts where there are people who claim to debunk misinformation or communicate science, and then they say, I have a PhD in biology or something like that, but they're unemployed. I mean, they don't actually work as a professor at a university. They don't publish papers. PubMed these people. If you haven't published 10 papers in the last year, you might have been a scientist, but are you still a scientist? I don't know what the hell you are. You're out of the game. If you're not published more than 100 or 200 papers, and if you're not published